How's it going, my dudes? Welcome back to yet another Calibria Crystal Guardians video. If you realize maybe my voice is a little bit different today, that's because I'm trying out a new mic. Yay! Okay, so today we will be covering some pretty off-meta strategy, which is Spider Queen for Leviathan 10. Post edit free to play over here. This video is not meant for beginners who are just starting out on Leviathan 10, and definitely not for those who have not even tried Leviathan at all. It is strictly for players who seek to improve their runtimes via intricate changes to their existing working lineup. On with the video. This is not a weird gimmick, this is an absolute sound strategy. So if you have a Spider Queen and you don't know what to do with her, stay tuned for I'll provide you with some really helpful tips. Okay, so let's first take a look at her stats and skill tree. She is currently on an offensive kit with Berserk plus defense and an attack, crit damage, attack build. That was quite a weird slow there. The defense set is there only to improve her survivability, and this alone is sufficient. So she has over 28,000 HP, 1.6k defense, decent attack, and high crit rate and decent crit damage as well. I also slapped on some hit percent on wherever I can, and that's pretty much it. So I got hit percent here and there, randomly just like one tier hit percent. Okay, so now let's take a good look at her skills, right? Okay, this is part where it gets a little bit weird. I mean, like, I'm using Binding Web and Hypnotic Net, so I'm not actually using Arachnid Army and Trapping Web, and I'm not even using Cobweb. So these are by far the most popular skill sets that people usually run her with, double AoE or maybe with Cobweb. Yeah, so what's happening, you say? Where are AoE, where are her damage skills? That's right, she's currently using what I would think to be the least used skill tree, and yet this is perfect for what is about to unfold. I love this game, man. You can literally recreate existing heroes to fit the specific role you want. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so as to Binding Web, what does this do? Okay, it does a good single target damage and has an 85% chance to bind, 100% at max, and a bind is pretty much just a stun, that's it, with a fancy name. And then also you transfer all your debuffs onto the target. So, you think you understand what I'm talking about right now. For Leviathan, right? But trust me, you only know half of it. I will explain more about this skill later when we see the run for itself. Next, S3 Hypnotic Net. Erase a random enemy buff and has a 70% chance to sleep the enemy. It does what you think it is supposed to do, so there is no secret there. It's only the Binding Web that gets really interesting. Okay, so how this S3 works is that any enemy on the field with a buff will be considered for this passive to be a target. So if an enemy does not have a debuff, it will not be targeted at all. So you don't need to worry about the passive targeting an enemy without a buff. It won't. Okay, so this is exceptionally helpful, alright? So let's see why in the run. Okay, so this is my team that I'm running with. Because I'm unable to get more hit percent on my Spider Queen, I set up with a hit percent leader skill instead. So yeah, as you can see, 41% hit. Alright, so it is really helpful, and I recommend you to use it so your heroes can focus on other stats like HP, defense, and speed. Yaksha and Popo are my main source of dots. Harpy does what Harpy needs to do, and Celine is just my go-to healer. I would rather very much run Druid than Celine just because I don't need all that heal. A buff or a strip would be nicer to have. So alright, let's go. Yay! Okay, so remember when I said you did not fully understand the use of Binding Web? As you can see over here, this particular wave runs with Orc Warriors who can drop defense breaks on your teammates, and they will destroy any lawful type heroes that you choose to bring. So sometimes they do have 4 Orcs on this wave, which is completely killer. So Spider Queen actually helps a lot in this sense. So Binding Web is so useful here because Spider Queen will not only target the Orc Warriors due to her typing, but she will also effectively buy your lawful hero time to resist instant death in the unfortunate case where you encounter 4 Orc Warriors. Okay, so apart from Binding, so Binding Web will stun an Orc Warrior for you, so that immediately reduces the threat level by a huge margin. The only problem in this stage is really just the Orc Warrior. Okay, so apart from Binding Web, her Hypnotic Net also has a very good chance to put an Orc Warrior to sleep whenever they drop their Crimson Rage buff, which is the attack buff that you might see sometime. And not only removing that buff, also put the Orc Warrior to sleep, which is really good. So that's a very strong utility on the first wave itself. So let's just get this over with, and then we can move on to the next wave. So here, Spider Queen, like I said, she has typing advantage. Okay, so in this second wave, with the mid-boss, you will notice that the two minions beside the mid-boss are also of chaotic factions. So these guys aren't nearly as powerful as Orc Warriors, however they may potentially snipe your lawful type if they land a heal block and start critting away. Okay, so if you do not have a necromancer like me, you cannot get rid of the heal block. So Binding Web is able to take care of one potential RNG hazard for this wave. Okay? Hypnotic Net does not really have any use for this wave, but it has super good utility for wave 1 and the boss wave, which is now. Okay, so moving on to the boss wave, one amazing utility that Binding Web does is it is absolutely possible to stun lock the tower. So as you can see, I'm targeting the right tower right now. If I do manage to proc it, which is actually a good chance, not only will Spider Queen transfer all the dots on herself to the tower, but she can also stun that tower and prevent the tower from dropping a 3-turn immunity on the boss, which is really helpful for clearing your... So see, there you go, it is stunned. Okay, so it's really helpful for shortening your clearing time. So as soon as you down this tower, you can immediately get on with dotting the boss. So this will shave off a good minute of your runs. So like you see, he didn't drop the immunity, so the moment the tower is gone, we can go straight for the boss, like so. Okay, so yeah, she died, but that doesn't really matter because her job is done. That is really her role. Her role is really to get all of us, carry all of us to the boss fight itself. I mean, yeah, just the boss fight right now. So since the boss is the only target that Hypnotic Net can strip, it is just a second layer of guarantee that the boss stays stripped. So I don't know whether you noticed, but just now she did strip the immunity on the boss. So just in case that you fail to bind the tower, you can also strip the immunity with every turn that Spider Queen takes. So do note that, whoa, okay, don't worry, I'm not gonna die here. Do note also that the strip requires a hit percent check and may sometimes fail because the strip is resisted. So it is very important to give your Spider Queen as much hit as possible. So there you go, 3 minutes. That is a very solid timing, and it is really possible only because only because I decided to include Spider Queen in this comp. So let's go again, and hopefully we see 4 Orc Warriors now. And oh, no Orc Warriors. Oh, that's a pity. I guess you guys don't get to see her awesomeness then. But regardless, she is super useful. I shaved off 1.5 minutes on my total runtime. I used to run 5 minutes, and the fastest run ever was like 4 minutes 30 seconds. But now it's just so fast. I mean, it is crazy to be autoing your runs, you're auto repeating your runs, and then you just need to wait like 15 minutes and then you're back. You can just repeat it again. So it's so good not only for the utility that Spider Queen brings, but also just the overall the speeding up of the run that she brings with her entire kit. So she works really well for the first wave, like I mentioned, with her stunning and her sleeping, and also she does really good damage here. So if she managed to ignore defense, these guys are just gonna pop real fast, really fast. I don't actually notice her doing the ignore defense though, because like I hardly ever... Oh, there you go. Whoa, instant kill. That was an instant kill. So she's gonna be really useful. The fact that her passive, her S3 is currently a passive, means that she has more opportunities to land her ignore defense, which is going to help so much in your runtime. Yeah, so well, you don't really see the efficacy of Spider Queen because, I mean, like, you don't really see my Celine being protected, but that's because she is extremely well guarded because of Spider Queen. Because of the fact that Spider Queen can stun one target and sleep another Orc Warrior in the first wave, she is so well protected. I hardly ever get wrecked on the first wave anymore, ever since including her. And she's not even running like a very defensive kit, she's running a DPS kit, which is even weirder. It's crazy how effective she can be. Okay, so she didn't get to drop a stun because she was on cooldown, so let's see her strip off the buff one more time. Okay, she failed to strip, but at least she got the stun. Like I said, there is a hit percent check for the boss, so we still have one more opportunity to try to strip the buff. I mean, we have a lot of opportunities, but hopefully we get it. Yes, okay, we got it off right now. Fantastic. So the moment... Oh damn, just a little bit. Imagine if we destroyed the tower right then and there. we will just be going straight for the boss. And right now we'll be probably dropping 3 or more debuffs on the boss by now. Oh damn, Popo is on a roll. Okay, do take note that the boss can only take at most 10 debuffs at once. So if you have too many dots with you, like I do sometimes, you will realize that the boss does not get debuffed any further. So that may be a problem. Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit more about why I use Yaksha and how she actually mitigates this issue for me in a sense. That will be for a future video in the future. But with that said, yeah, that's it for this Leviathan 10 run. So my comp is... I keep doing this, man. Oh my goodness, now you want me to buy stamina. Fine for the video. So this is my team again. Super effective. I used to... Okay, in place of Spider Queen, I actually replaced my Demonic Swordsman. So Demonic Swordsman is supposed to fit this role. He is exceptional with Harpy. He is perfect with pairing up with Harpy. However, for some reason, even though he's so good at turn cycling, just the mere replacement of him with Spider Queen made all that difference. So really, really good. This is a very fantastic way to use Spider Queen. Okay, so she's not just like your PvP nuker, she's not just your farmer, she can also be a very high utility hero for Leviathan. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.